my gosh. That was a real pregnancy moment right there. Ooh, I feel like I'm about to throw up. What's up, tribe, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you're new here, my name is Mariah and I am currently pregnant with my second rainbow baby. My husband and I have been on quite the journey to get here today, and I am finally back. To all of my returning subscribers, I am finally back to bring you guys an update as to what's been going on for over the course of the last about 10 weeks now. You will hear noise in the background because we are obviously in the playroom. Rain is going to be coming in and out because he's playing. You're gonna say hi? Hi. Say hi. Hi. Hi, cutie. Hi, cutie. No, you're the cutie. You're trying to show them your spoon? You gotta put it like right here. Right here? Yeah, like right here. This is how you show them your spoon. Spoon. Yes, your spoon. Okay, so I know I have been gone for quite a while. I definitely appreciate everyone who reached out to me between like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. I totally put everything on pause due to some things going on with the family right now, and I'll get into more of that later on in the video. But I do want to thank you guys who did reach out to me for checking up on me and whatnot. I've been pretty much cut off from all socials for the last 2.5-ish months. So for the pregnancy update, I am currently within my 17th week. I haven't seen or updated you guys on anything since I think we had our ultrasound, but we had that at 7 weeks and I haven't seen you guys since. So now I'm currently in my 17th week. Everything is good health-wise with baby and I haven't really had any scares or additional, even though I have a high-risk pregnancy, haven't had any additional complications or anything like that. Okay, which has been awesome. Symptom wise, for pretty much similarly to Rain's pregnancy, food and me have not agreed. This pregnancy I've been suffering from like extreme nausea, which has caused me to not really be able to eat a whole lot, and when I do eat, it usually induces vomiting. Typically for pretty much up until I would say last week, most days I would be eating about a meal to a meal and a half. For instance, my breakfast would be eaten around like 11:30-ish, and it would be like 5 crackers and a few sips of maybe water or something along those lines. And then later on in the day, I would have something like soup or like a bowl of ramen or something like that, mainly for the broth, but even that sometimes would make its grand return. And for that, they had actually prescribed me Zofran because that seemed to work reasonably well with Rain's pregnancy. However, that's not the case this time. Zofran was hit or miss. There's been quite a few occasions where I've taken the Zofran, tried to eat something shortly after, and then thrown the food and the Zofran back up. So I haven't had extreme vomiting, but I've had a lot more vomiting than I had with him, and the nausea has been worse than it was with him because I wasn't getting any reprieve. So they had me on the Zofran. That was very much hit or miss. It did not work majority of the time enough for me to eat consistently. Then they went ahead and added on to that the Unisom and B6 combination. I also had tried that with him. It didn't work with him. It also didn't work with this baby. So the nausea and vomiting trend continued pretty much all the way through 14, 15, and maybe a little bit of week 16. And when I say it was bad, it was like even like water would sometimes induce vomiting. So with me not being able to eat a whole lot or drink a whole lot, I started to get migraines and daily headaches. Like this was every single day. I would take Tylenol and that only worked to a small extent. And a combination of that with the nausea, I feel like they exacerbate each other. Like migraines and headaches usually make me feel nauseous. If I'm so nauseous that I can't eat anything, I usually am gonna get a headache. So around my 14-week appointment, I told them like, listen, I'm feeling very lethargic. I am barely getting fluids in and keeping fluids down, let alone food. And they were like, by this time you should have had some general like reprieve from your symptoms because you are in the second trimester. So they were like, we're gonna try one more thing and hope that that works. So they asked me, was I having like heartburn, like major heartburn? And I told them, yes, I am, and I still am now. And they went ahead and told me, well, it may be a little bit more than heartburn. You might be experiencing some acid reflux, and that might be causing more of the nausea so then they suggested, let's try to get the acid reflux under control and then see if that helps. Also, before my 14th week, the day before my 14-week appointment, I stopped taking my progesterone. I couldn't really remember like off the top of my head when I stopped taking it with Rain, but with him, I believe I stopped taking it. I was done with it between week 11 and 12. I was completely off of it. With him, I tapered off. So I went from taking 200 milligrams a day down to 100 milligrams a day for like a week and then nothing. This time I did not taper off. I literally was on 200 milligrams and then I just stopped taking it flat out. And even with him, like once I stopped the progesterone, my symptoms were still in full swing. I don't feel like it really helped a whole lot to get rid of the progesterone as far as like the nausea was concerned. But I went ahead and stopped taking progesterone with this baby at 14 weeks. No particular reason why. I think I was just in a routine of taking it and I hadn't been to the doctor as often either. So since my 7-week appointment, I've had 2 appointments. I had an appointment just as a introductory appointment for my OB at 11 weeks. And then I had my MFM appointment at 14 weeks. So I say that to say that I haven't actually been to the doctor nearly as often as I was with Rain either. We've been minimizing appointments, which I haven't had the same levels of anxiety that I had with him. I feel like I don't really have any pregnancy related anxiety whatsoever, especially as compared to when I had him or was pregnant with him. So I actually told my doctor at that 14-week appointment, I have the same MFM provider, which is awesome. And I think that has a lot to do with me being like so calm and wanting to be kind of like more hands-off this pregnancy because she's frankly amazing. I've only felt the need to have the 2 appointments. With Rain, I was in the office with them probably, I think it was every week and then every other week for quite a while until the later, I think second half of my second trimester. We might have even dwindled a little bit into the third. I can't really remember, but this time I actually told my MFM that I want to be in the office as little as possible. Like if we can manage things and everything's looking good and healthy, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time running back and forth for appointments. Another thing that was decided is that I'm only going to be seeing my MFM. Again, I was referred through the OB or through the RE clinic to go to see OB and then further referred to MFM. I just feel like going between the two is way too much. If MFM can accommodate me for all of my major appointments, I feel like that's all that's really necessary, because at that point, if I was to go to both of them, I would be going like every week to 2 weeks, and I really do not want to do that. I feel like me seeing my same MFM provider, however, you know, in whatever increments we decide on, is more than sufficient for this pregnancy. Something else that occurred before my 14-week appointment is the fact that I lost some of my mucus plug. I also lost some after that appointment. I talked to my doctor about it, and basically they only knew about the one time. I didn't call them to say anything in I think it was week 15 that I lost another portion of it. When I mentioned it at my appointment, they were like, okay, we're gonna make a note of it, and if it continuously happens, definitely let us know. Let us know if you have any bleeding or cramping accompanied with it. But I told them, I was like, this is just something I'm mentioning. I'm not freaking out about or really concerned. I know that you can lose parts of your mucus plug throughout your pregnancy, and they do self-replenish. So it's not something to necessarily induce panic unless there is a large amount of it that you lose. But I did recognize that when I was losing portions of it, it was because I was doing a lot around the house. I don't know what my dog is barking at. But I was doing a lot around the house, a lot with the kids. You know, the teenagers came down for the summer, so I was doing a lot with them. I have the toddler, obviously, to manage all day long. My dog even has been high maintenance this summer, so I think it was just a lot going on and me running around and doing a lot at the time in the midst of not feeling good, and my body was just saying, hey girl, you need to slow down. Another reason why my 14-week appointment was awesome is because Mia actually got to come with me. So one, they are now allowing people to attend appointments or significant other spouses, partners, or one additional person to actually attend these appointments. So she came and she got to see the ultrasound, which it was already an extensive like ultrasound. It wasn't supposed to be, but I had my MFM provider as well as another attending doctor in, and they told me that it would be a little bit longer, not because there was anything wrong, but they wanted to get extra shots, and I think it was more of like practicing the skill of doing ultrasounds ultrasounds and stuff with the newer doctor as well, but it was great having her there. Like, she was super excited with the fact that she actually got to experience, because before Rain came along, she was the youngest. She wasn't around for as much of his pregnancy just because of the timing of it. And when she was around, it just never aligned properly with any of my appointments. So it's something that she asked about. She asked if she could come. She asked if they were going to do an ultrasound, and she was very excited to be able to see that. And it was cool for me just to see her excitement about being able to see her younger sibling in the womb. I do have some ultrasound pictures for you guys. At 14 weeks, baby was very active, a lot more so than Rain. Rain hid a lot throughout my pregnancy, but this one was stretching out, putting their hand over their face. So I'm gonna show you guys pictures. Hopefully these focus well, but here is one shot, and some of them are more so repeat, so I won't bother showing them, but there's one shot of the profile. Other one with hand over the face. This one was really cool because you could actually see the eyes, which I thought was a little bit freaky, but also a little bit cool. And then this one, you can see both hand and as well as feet.
Mom.
Yes. Are you okay? Okay. Are you sure? Okay. You're okay though? Okay. Now, something I know you guys are gonna ask is about the gender. Do we know the gender, if we're doing a gender reveal or anything like that? So to answer those questions, we do not yet know the gender. We are gonna find out. We're just waiting till the anatomy scan to do so, which will be in about another 3 weeks. I don't know if we're gonna have any type of gender reveal or not. I mean, it would be an excuse to have a party that we have not had, but I don't even know yet. Personally, I think it's gonna be another boy. Jeremy, of course, thinks otherwise, but the same way he thought otherwise with Rain, when I was 97% sure that Rain was a boy even before we knew. I was like, in my head, I just had a feeling that it was a boy. Same feeling with this baby, so I think we are probably gonna have another boy, but like I said, we don't officially know yet. I feel like with my cravings and all of those wives' tale things, it's been leaning more towards girl, but like I said, I just have an inkling the same way I did with Rain. I call it a mother's intuition, so to speak. But once I figure out what we're doing, and if we're doing a reveal or anything like that, I will let you guys know. Jeremy might actually be coming with me to the anatomy scan, and we'll have to take Rain with us as well, but I'll have to see how that's all gonna play out, and if we want to find out with family, or if we are just gonna find out with the two of us and then reveal it to the family. I don't really know those details yet, but in any event, I'll let you guys know when we know, or at least when we figure out what we're doing at the bare minimum. Other things to mention, the only thing I'm taking now that I'm off the progesterone, the things that I'm taking as far as this pregnancy are my prenatal. I'm also taking folate, and I am taking Zofran still as needed, but I haven't been taking it as much over the course of this last week. This last week has probably been the best that I felt. I actually regained my appetite versus just feeling like my stomach's empty. I also feel hungry sometimes, and this has also been the most consistently I've gone without headaches or migraines as well. But I'm taking the prenatal, I'm taking the folate, and also because I have high risk factors, they want me to go ahead and take aspirin as well, or baby aspirin as well. I did find out from the RE that he said probably in the next 2 years, baby aspirin is going to be included in every prenatal regimen, or the recommended regimen for prenatal care, whether someone is high risk or not. But for now, they went ahead and prescribed me that as well. So I'm just taking those 3 things, or 3 to 4 things, but I might start taking the fish oil again. My prenatal has the DH and everything like that, or DHEA in it, but I might take the fish oil as well, as long as my stomach continues to feel well enough and holds up to it. Otherwise, like I said, I am about doing the more minimal this pregnancy. I feel like I did the most last pregnancy, and this pregnancy I'm just trying to keep things more minimal. But yeah, other than that, I think I mentioned everything pregnancy related. Like I said, my anatomy scan is in another 3 weeks, so we'll see what you know, that brings or what comes with that. Rain, of course, is turning 2 pretty soon. He doesn't have any indication of what pregnancy is or even like a baby. Like he has his baby, like his little Love Every stuffed baby, but I like will point to my belly and keep reminding him like that he has to be gentle and stuff because mommy has a baby in her belly, and he's just like, okay, like whatever, which is exactly what I was expecting. I don't think he's gonna really have any inkling about baby anything until the baby is brought home. So they also mentioned that I think 15 to 20 pounds is what they mentioned as far as like weight gain for this pregnancy, more along the lines of 15 versus 20. But I don't really necessarily know if that's going to be an issue or not yet. As of this week, I have gained a total of I think 1.5-ish pounds. If I was to do this update for you guys last week, I would literally tell you that I didn't gain any weight because I have been just maintaining my pre-pregnancy weight, and obviously that's because I wasn't really able to eat a whole lot and wasn't holding food down. That's not necessarily the goal, but such is life and it is what it is. So I don't feel like I'm really like growing as much as I thought I was going to in these, I guess, this first trimester, and even like getting to the midway point of the second trimester. I assumed that I would grow a lot larger faster with the second pregnancy, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I will include a bump shot for you, or a bump shot for you guys, but I don't really feel like it's a bump shot. I feel like it's just me looking, hi baby, me looking kind of chubby shot more than anything else. But even with that, I feel like my weight has probably redistributed to different areas of my body, but I don't feel like I look quote unquote pregnant yet. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the pregnancy portion, or the pregnancy update portion of this video. Okay, now for the life update. So with the life update, there are things that I cannot go into great detail or really mention, except for in a very careful way. So we've had some things going on with co-parenting. We've had some things going on with the teenagers, some emotional and mental health struggles that have been severe and a significant source of stress and worry. So another reason why I pretty much shut all of my socials off and shut out the rest of the world is because when they came down, I know that they needed a lot of FaceTime and a lot of one-on-one attention, and I wanted to make sure that I was 100% fully present. Aside from taking care of Rain and being present for him, I wanted to make sure I was present and available for the kids, whether they wanted me to be or not, whether they wanted to talk or not. I do feel like it was necessary because we did have some things come up that were pretty serious while they were here. And like I said, I'm not going to get into the details of it simply because they're at an age where they're putting stuff out online and they have their own socials, but I do not feel that it is appropriate or my place to just put their business out there without necessarily them wanting to talk about it or wanting me to necessarily talk about it or giving permissions per se to talk about it. They have already expressed to me they don't mind me sharing online on my socials, on YouTube or anything like that, but just as a parent, there's oh my gosh. That was a real pregnancy moment right there. Ooh, I feel like I'm about to throw up. Ooh. Ooh. I feel so nauseous now. It's not even funny, but all I can do is laugh. What I was trying to say is that as a parent, there are certain places where I just feel like there is a line to draw in the sand, and there's just certain things that they might not want out there right now or at any point. So took some time off for family and parenting duties and just doing my due diligence as a step parent to make sure that I was fully available. But even in the midst of that, we had some beach days with them, which were nice. We also took them to the Baltimore Aquarium. As I mentioned, Mia got to go to the hospital to see the ultrasound with me. We've had plenty of Rita's dates. We also had Jeremy's sister and her boyfriend and his daughter come up and spend like almost a week with us. So we went and did some things in Philly. We did the Harry Potter exhibit at the Franklin Institute with the kids. So there's been things that we've been able to set up with them and to do with them. We also did Kalahari Resorts. We did like 3 days at Kalahari Resorts, the indoor water park with them as well. So ultimately we just tried to maximize the focused family quality time that we had while they were here. And then they went just, I think it's coming up on our second week now. They just went down to Florida for a week, and they probably have just gotten back home, I think, within these last like 4 days. So after they spent that time with us, we sent them down to Florida to spend time with Jeremy's sister and his mom, and they got to do like Universal and all that type of stuff. So that was really good for them. I think it was a good summer for them and a much needed break for them as well. But like I said, just a lot going on with them right now, a lot going on with the co-parenting. Some of it is just normal coming of age teenage things, and some of it is just more severe than that. But yeah, I'm hoping that throughout this school year that things will just improve, but it's definitely something that Jeremy and I know we'll have to keep talking about and keep revisiting and stay on top of. Other than that, there's also been like, I won't say a lot, but enough family drama going on. Not even in so much in the household. Like I told you what's going on sort of with the teenagers, or the theme of what's going on with the teenagers. But there's been family drama going on that is outside of my household that just it's just been bogging like the energy down a little bit. And I'm now in a place that like between just trying to make it through the struggle of like not feeling well and also being busy and tied up with the kids and everything, I'm just in a place where like I am tired of dealing with people's BS and stuff that is like their issues. I'm tired of like accommodating certain people and essentially like playing nice and keeping things ultra copacetic and always being the one to compromise and try to fix things and try to, you know, make things better for the family dynamic. I am at my wit's end with that. The older I get, the more I just want my peace at this point, and that's something that I definitely learned like throughout this summer, that my peace is more important than anything else. And I'm just tired. Like it has been kind of draining. The drama has been kind of draining, and I'm pretty much over it. Like I feel like my household, as far as like me, my husband, and the kids, while I've had certain stressors, certain parental stressors, like we're good. Me and Jeremy are good. We're in a really good place in our like marriage and our relationship. We seem to be very much like on the same page about things. So like everything there is good. It's just like external factors that I feel like at this point, like I am done trying to fix / make things work on those ends. And out of respect for him, I haven't even like really talked to him yet about like how he feels about me vocalizing all of that to you guys. And I feel like I may or may not talk about it. I feel like there's a time and place to talk about certain things, and I'm not one to always put like family business. I feel like part of it is the way I was raised, but also I'm just not one to put like a bunch of family business and like drama out there. But at the same time, I feel like I pride myself on being like authentic and genuine and just giving you guys the real and the raw of what things are. But out of respect for him right now, I don't necessarily know that he would feel comfortable with me divulging what's going on. It's not even with him and I, because usually stuff with him and I, he's like, go for it. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care. They're your feelings. But when it comes to other family, I feel like he's more, I don't even want to say protective over that, but I really don't know. He may not be. He may not really care either. But I at least want to give him that courtesy of having that conversation with him before I get into the nitty-gritty of all of these various things. But yeah, there's been some drama. There's been some arguments. There's been some disrespect. There has just been a lot, to the point where I feel like the only thing that is going to fix the family on a larger scale, like I said, not in my little bubble of the household, but larger scale, I feel like it would literally take a family therapy retreat to fix things. Like that's the place I'm in at this point. And I, of all people, have no problem with therapy. I have no problem with acknowledging when I've done things wrong, mistakes I've made. I have no problem with apologizing. I have no problem with like addressing things, but you can only do so much when you're the only one or the only side that really wants to like put stuff out on the table and address things. And Jeremy's like that way too, to a certain extent, but certain things are even like out of his control. So I know that's not giving you guys like a ton to go off of, but just know that it has not been all bonbons and rainbows over here. Aside from me feeling physically sick, I'm literally just trying to get the inner workings of this whole entire family dynamic together, because I just want to move forward and I want to live my peaceful freaking life without dealing with the drama, the tantrums, and the nonsense. So if I talk to him and he feels comfortable with me like kind of divulging everything that has really been going on, then I will let you guys know. If not, then it's gonna be what it's it's going to be. I'm not going to, you know, be disrespectful to my husband's feelings or his position on that. But yeah, we've been kind of going through it a little bit as far as all these various things have been concerned. I feel like this past weekend we actually went to the beach with some family and with our friends, and that was probably the most like peaceful, like best time that we actually had, and the most time like we really just got to sit and chill with like no drama, no anything, and just be together and everyone be in a good mood. And that is the type of interactions and lifestyle that I'm looking for overall. Like I said, to be peaceful. I have peace within, you know, my marriage. I'm not looking for, you know, any drama or anything like that, and life's too short, so I just want to focus on like having a good time and being in a healthy mental place. Like, I'm pregnant, I have a toddler to raise. I just do not have the energy or the desire anymore to fight for certain relationships. Like, it's beyond me. I would say it's still been a pretty good summer. It's just also been a very eye-opening summer. I can just put things that way. In other news, we've also been getting a lot of work done on the house. So our house has been a construction zone for probably, I would say, since late April. Our house has been a construction zone and probably will be well into September, maybe October timeframe. So that has been quite a bit to juggle as well. We're happy to get the work finally done, but our projects have been getting stalled for certain things. So there's just been a lot of moving parts over these last 10 weeks. It may not like seem like it because I don't necessarily put everything out there, or I'm like more quiet about what we're doing sometimes, but it's been a lot going on behind the scenes. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up and get off here. Like I said, thank you to everyone who reached out to me. Also, freaking congratulations to Takaija. I have been MIA. When I say I've been MIA, I haven't even like logged into YouTube or watched anything, but her video came up like as soon as I went back onto YouTube, and you know, she had her special like announcement. I just want to say congratulations to her, and I want all of you guys, if you aren't, I'll try to see if she comments on this video. I'll definitely like pin it to the top, but if you aren't following her journey, you guys definitely should hop on board. She is like an amazing and like just lively person. But I am so happy for her. Like I told her, that was the best news that I can come back to. So definitely shout out to you, girl. I'm still definitely praying for you, and I'm waiting for the next set of updates. I'm always like thinking about you guys, thinking about how you're doing, thinking about how your journeys are going and how your pregnancies are going and how your fertility journeys are going, or just how like your lives. Like some of you I talk to on various platforms, whether it's on Instagram and stuff like that, and I follow some of you as well, and I love seeing all of your updates with your families or your travel or whatever it is that you're doing. And I honestly like miss that, because that is sometimes like the highlight of my day depending on what's going on. But yeah, I'm ready to get back out there into the socials world. I will be updating you guys. I don't feel like I'll have like a ton of pregnancy updates until as we get like later on, but I'll definitely let you guys know about what we do as far as the gender situation is concerned, whether we're going to do a reveal or not. And I'll also let you guys know about like the anatomy scan and when we do all of those things. But other than that, yeah guys, thanks for watching. I know this was like probably a pretty long update for you all to get through, but I've been gone for a while, so I feel like I had a lot to try to cram into one video just to share with you guys what's really been up. So I hope you all are having a wonderful and amazing day, and I will catch you hopefully in the next video. Bye.